I sat crying in horror. I did not know what to do now, what the woman and the man would do, and where would I find my little sister, because this woman is crazy or she is from the jinn. It was easier to see on the roof the moonlight. I went down to the bathroom window and opened the door and looked inside the washing machine and said, "I am your brother. Do not be afraid," and she rushed towards me, tightly hugging me, and she was afraid. I felt reassured, but I was still afraid. We were still at home. We went out through the back door, through the back stairs of the street. I was caught by my little sister who was walking behind me. I remembered our servant who sleeps on the roof. I told her, "Do not worry about her, we will go out and then come back." She said with fear, "But they will reach her brother." I told her not to be afraid. "My sister, I have closed the roof door. I think that the woman does not know how to open the doors. And I hope that her husband is like her, so we could hardly escape, and I will not come back to expose myself and my sister in danger. I will call 911 after we get out. I think that the woman does not know how to open the doors, and I hope that her husband is like her, so we could barely escape, and I will not return to expose myself and my sister to danger. I will call the rescue after we are able to go out. Do not be afraid, sister." And finally we arrived at the door of the building. Praise God they did not lock it. We went out and we were running quickly through the small garden of the house, and the main door of the house was a few steps away. My sister said, "I cannot run, I am tired." "Brother," all the windows of the house were opened at once and all the lamps were lit, and then all the lights were closed again, and restarted itself again, as if there was someone playing with the lights and electricity inside, and the sound of the hissing loud and terrifying. I grabbed my sister's hand and carried it on my back, but before I took one step outside the house, I was surprised by that huge thing that blocks the door of the house like a wall on my way. And I realized from his stability that he was the strange man, and I heard his voice say, "Are you afraid of the dark or of death more?" He started to repeat some strange words very quickly, then he raised his arm to point to the roof of the house. I looked there, and there was something hanging and tied to a rope from his neck. The maid was hanged and dead, and here came out a woman wearing a black cloak, and her long black hair covered most of her face, and she was walking as if she was flying on the ground. It was as if someone was pushing her from behind, while she was repeating some incomprehensible words and looking at us with strange and terrifying looks. And her husband from behind me exchanged those words with her, laughing and getting closer and closer. And our house emits strange lights. I did not feel my feet at that time. I fell to the ground with a collapse while I was screaming with horror, and my little sister screaming and saying, "Lord," and here is a voice that rises. "God is great, God is great." It is the dawn call to prayer from a mosque close to our house, and that man and his woman, and the man stopped and his wife is silent. And after that the rest of the mosque started hesitation. God is great. Their features changed a lot, to frowning then anger, and the man said angrily, "You will pay the price." Then he disappeared once with his wife. I was shivering and I was looking at the maid above, and my sister lost consciousness on the ground. The police arrived, my father and mother arrived, and they considered the death of the maid to be a suicide accident. The genie's words repeating, "Are you afraid of darkness or death more?"